Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Ambient Afternoons. Appreciate y'all coming on in here. What's going on, Laurie? Appreciate you hanging out with me as usual. So, as you know, this is Ambient Afternoons, so we don't do too much talking, but just wanted to jump on and say hi real quick. And that's the loop roll effect on the that's on the Zoom pedals. If you go on the Zoom pedals, the recent ones, they all have a loop roll effect, and it allows you to sustain things like that. So so it allows you to do a couple different things. But yeah, so of course, as you know, you can go to the Patreon support. You can go to if you want some of my settings and different things like that for any of the Zoom pedals, the ToneX series pedals and software, or the Source Audio C4 synth. All that is available on the Patreon, as well as you can hit the Cash App, Super Chat, Super Thanks if you want to just leave a tip. But all right, let's get back to the music. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of All Bass Creations Ambient Afternoons. We had what's this, number 33. All right, so trying to get some consistency with some of these series, But I appreciate y'all hanging with me. Hit that like button for me if you haven't already. I definitely appreciate you all stopping by, checking me out midday. So this is Ambient Afternoons. We won't be doing too much talking, but these presets for different things are going to be available to you all. Like that's going to be in the next C4 synth pack, that actual sound you're listening to there. I didn't have a chance to add it to the pack that I currently have on there on the Patreon, but it will be available to you soon. So you'll be able to have that exact sound. So, Jeb, you don't have to worry about it being stuck in your head all day. You can get it if you got a C4 pedal. And as next couple of weeks, I'll do another C4 synth pack because I constantly have been just deep diving into that, adding some new patches and things like that I think you guys will love. But even the ones that are currently out, the ones that I wanted the first pack to be super bass synth heavy. So let me just pull it up the Neural app real quick, and I'll use some of the sounds to just create some ambient stuff. But this time of day, we just do improvisation, ambient music. You know, if you have any, I do answer questions and respond quickly to stuff that's relevant to what we're doing. So if you got questions about how I'm achieving these sounds or where you can find them, a lot of this stuff you can already find on my Patreon page. If you want to support the channel, Patreon. If you want packs for the Zoom MS-60B Plus, Zoom B6, the C4 synth, or the ToneX series pedal, all that's on Patreon. So don't worry about that. You got access to it. All right, so let's just hear a few of these little sounds here. Oh, now they want to mow the grass. Ain't this? Now they want to mow the grass. Good thing we mute the mic most of the time. So that's just a few of those sounds you can catch on the Patreon. But yeah, let's get back into this ambient music stuff. So just so you guys know, caught up to speed, what am I using here? For that particular sound, I was just using the C4 Source Audio Atlas compressor running into the C4 synth, running into the color box, into the Empress compressor, and then the Zoom B6. I was using the tape echo and the bass poly shift on the, which is a polyphonic octaver on the Zoom B6, which is actually really good. Actually, it's really, really good. It's actually competitive with some of the other polyphonic octavers in terms of what it can do. So, don't be afraid of that Zoom B6. They definitely got some good stuff in there and quality effects at that. Like, they sound really good. But got that running into the MS-70 CDR Plus, which is also going to have its own pack soon. So let me get out of here. Get into there. So we're going to add this Hog 2 real quick. And so we're going to take this sound that's running into the compressors pretty much stay on. Like, so the Atlas compressor is, which is this green pedal here, and the JHS color box and the Empress compressor, those pretty much stay on just in general. So let's run it into the MXR layers. You can hear it there. That's the layers. Into the MXR, the Zoom MS-70 CDR Plus. And I am using a tape echo from the Zoom B6. So we're gonna add the key 9 and the mel 9 as well. So now, yeah. Up on them now. So, definitely appreciate y'all hanging with me, so forth and so on. So we're gonna continue up here, but definitely appreciate you guys hanging with me. Hit that like button for me while you're here, and like always, if you want to support more, you can do that on the Patreon and all that stuff, all the presets for different pedals, all that stuff on the Patreon. You want to leave a tip, Cash App, Super Chat, Super Thanks, but at the very least, hit that subscribe and that like button for me. We're going to continue on here, and this is Ambient Afternoons, so we don't do too much talking, but I do try to at least explain a little bit of what I'm doing sometimes, you know. So there, besides just the general stuff that's typically on the Hog, that was the Hog 2 and primarily the Hog 2 and the MS-70 CDR Plus doing a lot of that heavy lifting there. So the Hog 2 by itself, and of course the Key 9 and the Mel 9 are also on as well. So but this MS-70 CDR Plus is bananas. See how wide of a sound it is? Let me bypass it. That's what my raw bass sounds like. You had that patch on. Plus these are on sale right now. Matter of fact, you know what I need to do? I need to give y'all my Amazon link for one of them. That way you guys, if you wanna grab your MS-70 CDR Plus, they are on sale right now and they are amazing. As you can hear, like I think they on sale for like almost about $100 right now, and this gives you stereo in and stereo out. So I'm running mono in. I'm running the entire signal chain mono, and then I get to this and I'm running stereo into the. I'm actually using a Zoom L12 mixer as well. And no, I'm not endorsed by Zoom at all. I just really like Zoom products a lot. They work and they sound good and they're consistent. And they, you know, the upgrades are usually worth the money. So I had the original MS-60B Plus, and that is right there. This pedal right there. It's still on one of my pedal boards. I just use it for a different purpose now. It's this one effect that they did leave off. It's called a four voice synth, and I actually really like it a lot. Oh, let me. Yeah, that's amazing. I love it. I always forget how much I like it. Let me make sure everything plugged in. There we go. You know, and of course you heard me using the C4 synth, the harmonizer on there. That's what the first patch was. also like the harmonizer pedal on the Zoom B6 and the multi-stomp pedals as well. You know, they all work. I don't think Zoom gets enough credit for how well their stuff tracks either. Like the stuff that needs to track actually tracks very well. Like that HPS, which is just a harmony pitch shifter. Tracks very well, you know, so. You know, and that's just one pedal slot, so it ain't gonna tell you can color that a lot of different ways. But definitely worth checking out. The multi stomp pedals have it as well. So, you know, it's kind of something that people overlook in these pedals. Let's see what we got here. Yep. So I actually just put the link up there. I don't know if you guys are using that. Can you link that? No. What I need to do is put that in the regular comments. But it should let you click it if you're on your phone. A good harmony pedal, like I've never been one to really use harmony pedals because I pretty much do a lot of my own chordal things, you know, and the harmony pedals are pretty much monophonic. So, but I have been lately, you know, just exploring the different ones and the textures I can do with different songs with them. But you know, for me, the only down part about it is, I can't really. A lot of the stuff I write is not all in one key, so I would literally have to cut and paste all these different chords from these harmony pedals together to do that. So, but let's get back to it. That sound right there is actually just the deep freeze and the original MS-60B, Zoom MS-60B, the original one with the full voice synth, which they don't have on none of the new ones. If y'all could add that back, Zoom, that would be great. But just running that with the MS-70 CDR plus, yeah. It's like got a very like flute like quality to it, you know. I would actually let's see. Maybe we can layer it with the kind of like that. So that's actually the MS-60B on the full voice synth on the original one. The Mel 9 on the flute running into the MS-70 CDR Plus. And well, before that, before the MS-70 CDR Plus, I have the bass poly shift on the Zoom B6 and the tape echo on there as well. I'm just kind of going through a few reverbs on the MS-70 CDR Plus at the moment, just trying to see which one I like for this sound. And by the way, I got an HX1 on the way that I'm going to be doing a review of, and I'm going to be doing a shootout between and the new TC Electronic Plethora X1. I got that on the way. That'll be here Wednesday. But yeah, and I'm gonna do a direct comparison between the multi-stomp MX70 CDR Plus, the HX1, and the Plethora X1. So, granted, the multi-stomp is meant to be a multi-effects pedal, complete multi-effects pedal, not just one effect at a time, but they're all in the same price range. This is why I be kind of saying about some of the other companies, how they be doing you dirty a little bit. When Zoom, people wonder why I like Zoom stuff so much. They put so much into these pedals at such a good price. It's really let me find a nice reverb I like. I do love this particle. Yeah, this particle joint is crazy. That's the reverb. And it's got different modes. That's insane. When you run this joint stereo, it just gets ridiculous. See if we can add. I don't really need this chorus. It's not really adding much to the sound compared to. I need another reverb on that because I use that particle reverb on here it's almost like a delay sound to me, but it's not a delay sound. I don't want to confuse you. But I use it. I usually run it into another reverb. Preferably the HD Hall is my favorite reverb, like in terms of just a massive reverb that sounds studio quality. And again, that's just combining the original Zoom MS-60B Plus, that full voice synth I have on there, ever setting that up. That's the only reason I keep that on my board, just so I can have that sound at the moment, you know. But just running that into the MS-70 CDR gives you all that. And again, like I said, I like the other harmonizers on the. It's one that comes on the MS-70 CDR Plus. It's also one on the Zoom B6 and I believe it's one on the MS-60B Plus, but don't hold me to that. But yeah, so it's just about being creative. And no, again, I'm not endorsed by Zoom whatsoever. I just actually really like Zoom products. Like I legitimately bought all of this Zoom stuff myself. And I didn't even realize, like, I buy a lot of electro harmonic stuff. Like, but I'm not endorsed by them either. But I really love electro harmonics pedals. They're some of the most creative and, amazingly, they track very well. Like, the tracking on electro harmonic stuff is always great. So it's something you never have to worry about when you buy from them. Their tracking algorithm is insane. But even this older Hog 2, this Hog 2 is like about 10 years old, and that thing tracked just better than some of the newer pedals coming out. So, but even with just the MS-70 CDR Plus, which the link is in the comments as well, it's just gives you 6 slots. I'm only using 5 out of 6, so I can use one as a way to switch the pedal, the entire effect strip on and off. So the first effect I always put on is this line selector. So it lets it be dry, and then I can press that and engage all the other 5 effects. Which was fairly simple. And you can edit this if you have an iPhone or an iPad. You can edit this on there, and you can have all your presets on your iPhone, and connected it to this, and just be selecting through them. That's another way you can do it. I prefer to do it on my iPad because it gives me like a really big screen to navigate on. But take that and combine it with like the MXR layers and the Hog 2. Let's change this tremolo. Beautiful phasers. Woo! People be sleeping on Zoom. I'm trying to tell you. Hit that like button for me while you're hanging with me, wherever you're at, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. So many effects in this little thing, like, you get so many modulations, delays, reverbs, and filters, and everything else in there. It just makes you have to experiment. You don't really have a choice. Let me see. Matter of fact, let me delete this. Delete that, and I want to make this. This Shimmer Plus. How y'all doing over on Twitch? I appreciate y'all hanging with me. Yeah, I love the shimmer. The shimmer reverb plus on here is insane. The particle reverb is insane, And mind you, the patches I'm creating for the Zoom MS-70 CDR Plus will be available to you guys on the Patreon. If you want to support the channel more, you can do that on the Patreon. And if you want any of my presets for the Zoom MS-60B Plus, Zoom B6, ToneX series pedal, got 11 different preamps available for that, plus my personal preset list, and 47 different bass synths available to you on the C4 synth. All impacts on the Patreon, so make sure you check that stuff out as well. Hit that like button wherever you at. I appreciate all you guys over on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitch. Every single one of you guys, I appreciate you just stopping by, showing me some love. If you feel free to comment, ask me questions that are relevant to stuff we're doing. We doing ambient music, so I don't generally do this much talking, but if I get a few questions in my DMs and stuff about how I'm using certain things and how how they can achieve certain sounds. So you don't have to have the most expensive reverb and delay pedals and all that other stuff. One thing I really love is Guitar Rig. I'm not using it right now, but if you want something that you can just have as a plugin, Guitar Rig is a phenomenal effects rig. I'm not a big fan of their amp sims, but their bass stuff for amps, but their effects are insane, and the routing and everything you can do it is insane with Guitar Rig. So that's something else to look out for. But the Zoom multi-stomp pedals really shine at stuff like this because let me turn it off so you can hear the difference. So that's this background. Let me turn off that's that tape echo on the Zoom B6. And that extra you're hearing there is the multi MXR layers, which is another great ambient pedal. And the rest of that is just the Hog 2. And I'm running that in freeze glitch mode for the expression pedal I'm using. So it's going Hog 2 in the MXR layers into the Source Audio Atlas compressor, into the JHS Colorbox V2, into the Empress bass compressor, and that's running into the Zoom B6. I had on the tape echo on there. Which, by the way, I like to change the time, give it a longer feedback. Change the time. making it feedback. And just so you can hear exactly what just the MS-70 CDR Plus is doing. All that. So from this one pedal, just change the preset. And that's just the Shimmer Plus. Well, the Shimmer Plus and this vintage flanger. Shimmer Plus. And I could take something like a chorus on here, especially when you run this pedal. This, I would recommend running this stereo. Like when you want to optimize the sound of this MS-70 CDR Plus, it's first of all, it's the perfect companion to a Zoom B6 or like some other multi-effects unit like a HX Stomp or something like that. This has way more bass and bass friendly stuff with it. So let me do this. I don't care about this flange. Oh, let's do a nice wide chorus. There we go. That'll work. And let's move that. Oh, that's BPMs. Let's move this after the shimmer. Nice slow rate on that. Quite a bit of depth. So as you can see, you get plenty of extra options with delays, reverbs. I didn't even get into the filters, but the modulations on here are crazy too. So, I would definitely recommend grabbing one of these while they're on sale. And again, if you click on that little link you see right there, that'll take you to the exact, where you can get it. Let me see. because that's the key. That link right there. And that way, if you want to buy it, you can use that link. It's a great pedal. Like I said, I'm not endorsed by them or anything, but I just happen to really like Zoom pedals. They work well. They work very well in terms of saving you some money on effects that you only use once in a while. Definitely, if you want some really high quality effects, like super high quality that not gonna break the bank, but you just need it for studio stuff, like you need it for your recordings. You can get Guitar Rig. Guitar Rig is an amazing effects app. If you want the best amp models, I would just, for real, just buy you a ToneX one, right? And the ToneX one will come with the ToneX software and Amplitude. So that's another little hack. If you want just some great amp models, like the best amp models out right now is going to be the ToneX and Amplitude, and you'll get both of them if you buy a ToneX one. So, the pedals I'm really recommending a lot to a lot of players right now would be the ToneX one, of course, because that also functions as a multi-effects pedal now. It has modulations, delays, and reverbs, and compression, EQ, plus the amp models. So, and it's an IR loader as well. So, and an audio interface and tuner. Can't forget about those options too. But the Zoom MS-60B Plus, if you don't, if you want something that's a little bit more well-rounded and have more variety of effects for bass, just bass stuff, that would be a good pedal, the MS-60B Plus. If you want something that's for ambient music or that's just like an all-around pedal that's going to be able to be a chameleon on your pedal board and still allow you to have a ton of effects, like 6 effects at a time, MS-70 CDR Plus is definitely one. If you want a bigger unit that sounds amazing and can function on all your gigs and stuff, I would recommend the Zoom B6. It's a great audio interface, and it does 24-bit, 88.2 kilohertz. So it's twice the sample rate of the multi-stop pedals. So definitely the effects, even though they might have the same effect, to me, the effects sound richer and more detailed on the Zoom B6. So including the amp models, like if you want a nice amp setup and every complete setup with just something simple, the Zoom B6 will get you there for sure. Plus it's got a DI box and everything else built into it, along with an effects loop. So you can take something like the multi-stop running in your effects loop and move it within different effects in the Zoom B6, which is another awesome feature. So, really, it's not about spending a ton of money on the gear. I don't really have too much expensive gear, to be honest with you. A lot of my pedals, all of these pedals are pretty much 500 and below, with the exception of the Hog 2 because of, you had to buy that little thing separately. But everything else here I'm looking at is under 500. So and the Zoom B6 is about 500. So you don't really need to spend $1 million, $1,500 on an effects unit to have good effects in a multi-effects unit. And even when you buy, picking out some nice pedals for your pedal board, you don't have to spend $1 million on that, either, But analog stuff is going to run you more, like a color box, and color box V2 is going to run you about $450, and the Empress compressor is going to run you about almost $300 for real. So, you got to pick where you want your digital stuff and where you analog stuff. Analog stuff, I recommend the preamps and the compressors be analog if at the end of your chain. And what that allows you to do is to have nice, creamier, analog warmth added to your sound while you're using digital effects. So, like right now, I got everything running through these Zoom pedals. They have really improved the analog circuitry with the bypass on these. So, So that's the Atlas by itself. Then you add the color box. Empress compressor. So you get nice tones out of the analog stuff. It's real creamy. But you know, the Zoom B6 luckily has some different DI types. You know, the Tube 1 DI type is actually a noble, a noble preamp emulation. And type 2 is a red DI or ready, the big red box tube DI. Then the solid state probably is a Neve mixing console type thing, and solid state 2 is a Neve DI box. So all these little things, man, you can definitely, check them out and find what's useful to you. But, there's a lot of little things out here that don't cost you $1 million for you to sound good. And that's kind of the key. You don't want to have to spend $1 million just to, it's more in your hands than anything. Like you can spend a lot on the bass and, if you, it's still going to be in your hands. But I don't have a ton of basses for a reason. You don't really need all of that. I try to get things that change my sound, like actually change my sound. That's why I like multi-effects units and stuff like that, as well as filters and things. So, but yeah, that's all I'm gonna do for today. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Make sure you go to the Patreon and check out all my different packs for the Zoom pedals, the ToneX pedal, and the C4 synth. And make sure you hit the, if you just want to support, you go to the Patreon and hit that Cash App, Super Chat, Super Thanks, $1, $2. I definitely appreciate it all. So, yeah, don't be shy. And if you want to check out my actual music, allbasscreations.bandcamp.com. I did an entire album with just my bass and effects. And I also did some singles with me playing everything on them, including piano and drums. So